Hello, welcome to the Moto Academy podcast. Today, you're going to hear from our coach, Alessandro, AKA Olive Oil, AKA the Italian Stallion. This conversation is a long-form interview from cameraman Cam and Ethan that will later be used in a YouTube video that introduces everyone on the Moto Academy team. I met Alessandro just a couple of years ago, and I met him how I meet a lot of people, which is inside of the Moto Academy app. So he sent me a message and said, "Hey AJ, I see you're coming to Dorno in Italy. I'm from Italy. I would love to be able to just help out in any way possible." And I accepted the offer. I said, "Sure, absolutely. I would love your help. I don't know how I'll need it just yet because it was just a single day class. It was a group size that was manageable for me, and I hadn't met him in person yet. So it was more so just, okay, yeah, let's see if you can offer help, because this is sort of how I vet employees as well. As you can't just sit there and say, hey, I'd love to be a part of it, and then just hope that I find a space to plop you into. I think what really proves when somebody has value is they're able to see where they can place themselves to level up the Moto Academy as a whole. And so that was my thinking, I think, right from the beginning is, all right, let's see where he can add value. We show up. He was super respectful, a little nervous on the first day, sure, because I think there was a little bit of a language barrier. And I think he just really wanted to impress me with how much that he could help. Instantly, I was blown away with how much knowledge he had on the physiology of what goes into riding a motocross bike, with his foundation training knowledge, which is everything he knew about the body and the movement and how that correlates to what we teach at the Moto Academy. Right away, it got my gears turning of, wow, okay, there's something here. And I think that this could even help separate us even further from what already exists, or if there's any competition, which I don't believe in competition in this space. I think that as long as it's accurate information that's being taught, rising tides lift all ships. But that was one of the first thoughts I had. And I can't remember what happened after that camp. I was impressed at that camp. After that camp in Italy, we stayed in touch. And I guess just how a lot of the opportunities happen at the Moto Academy, it just seemed random almost and all at once, where it was just like, all right, we think we can make this happen. And he was on board. He jumped on right away. And it was, I think, there was a lot of commitment involved on Alessandro's end. So I give him a lot of credit for being open-minded to diving in, traveling to a bunch of different locations that he had never been to before, and putting the rest of his life on pause, essentially, to be able to go for this completely unknown thing. And it just turns out that, man, sometimes the most random of ways that it begins for an employee turns out to just be the best, because Alessandro could not be a better match to everything that we represent at the Moto Academy. He's kind, he's humble, he is passionate, and he just wants others to be better. He rides with the exact technique that we would want somebody to embody with the Moto Academy. I mean, one of the core values for us as a business is offer more and better service for that than which you are paid. And that's just what he embodies. He just always puts his heart and soul into everything that he does. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So without further ado, enjoy the story of Coach Alessandro.
My name's Alessandro Rossi. I'm from Italy. Currently, I'm 24 years old. I was born in a small city near, like 2 hours south of Milan, let's say, near Bologna, called Sassuolo. My parents are not from that city that I was born, because my dad is half German and half from Liguria. There is a region northwest of Italy by the sea. And my mom, she's half Greek from Athens and half from Turin. So I'm kind of a mess. But yeah, I was born in that small city, around 60,000 people in the countryside. So I was always used to live in the nature. Around 4 years old, that's the first time I got on a bike, actually on a mini street bike, because a close friend of my dad was a pro rider on MotoGP, and so he was the guy who introduced me to motorcycles. And my dad always used to race enduro when he was young. I mean, kind of race, but yeah, not so professionally. And yeah, I got into motorbikes. First few years on the street bikes, and then when I was 7, I got a pit bike. Yeah, a pit bike with two close friends of mine. I started riding motocross, but just for fun, because my main sport was soccer or football, as we call it. And then when I was 11, I got my first minicross, my 85s. I always remember was a Honda 2007 85. And yeah, actually when I got on the bike first, it was just for fun. My dad was never a parent who was pushing me to perform or to do races. In fact, I speaking about it now, I think I was pretty lucky to have an experience that I had with my dad, because I remember when we were going to the tracks, especially when we were riding like these mini street bikes in the small circuits. I remember that many times there was some dad who was screaming on their children, and yeah, I never had this experience, so I have to thank a lot my dad, because I quickly realized when I grow up that that was a lot of positive things that I got from him. But yeah, growing up, when I was 10, 11, I was just riding on the weekends, because as I said, my main sport was soccer, and I was pretty good at it. But then what got me really close to motorbikes was that I had this not so positive experience with soccer, with these 2 or 3 friends of mine that I was feeling that they left me, they abandoned me. So I realized that I wanted to change something. When I was 13, 14, I was taking not bad roads, but I was realizing that my friends that I always had was not, they were not taking experiences that could have been positive in the future, let's say.
So when you mean they abandoned you, did you mean like friendship-wise?
Yeah.
Not sports-wise necessarily.
No, friendship-wise. I mean, I was playing soccer with them, and I was always with them, like around in school. I had this passion of motocross also, so I had kind of 2 things always growing up. But then I was closer to these friends, because I mean, when you're young, you always want to do what your friends do. So, but I quickly realized that I felt that they were not friends anymore, and I didn't like what they were doing. So, but that was what saved me, I think. And that was when I really got into motorbikes with my dad.
So wait, what do you think saved you?
I mean, what saved me was getting closer and getting more focus on dirt bikes, because the friends that I have, the friends that I had with soccer, let's say, they weren't friends anymore. They weren't friends anymore. So I decided to make a change, to meet new people and focus more on this other passion that I had. You know what I mean?
Why did you want to make better decisions?
Because I kind of felt it. I kind of felt that the friends that I had were not, how do you say it? Were not taking smart decisions.
Bad influence.
Yeah, yeah. Not so. I mean, not. But yeah.
Yeah.
When you grow up, when you are 12, 13 years old, you start seeing things that, I mean, are not good. I mean, starting smoking cigarettes, starting drink alcohol. I didn't like it. I just felt it was not good for me.
Here's why I ask. This is why I'm asking this.
Yeah.
There are so many people in that position. So many people. We've all been in that position.
Yeah. And when you're young too, you kind of don't know all this stuff. So, and I think it's natural that you just want to go where your friends going.
Yeah. Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I got this experience that I was kind of abandoned because I was not feeling it. I didn't feel it was right for me, but then it started to feel like judgments on myself. But I think it really helped me to take a different decisions and to take a different road, and that's why I said it before with my dad, because I think he kind of realized it. He kind of realized that I was taking some bad decision, not due to me but due to other people, and I think subconsciously he made me understand at that young age that I could do better. And that's why I changed my friendships, I changed everything, and I got closer with motorbikes. And even at that time, I was feeling a lot of judgments, because imagine being like 12, 13 years old, where all your friends play another sport and do different things, and you're kind of alone, let's say. But I don't know why I just felt that it was the right thing to do for me.
Motocross.
Yeah.
So-
motocross.
Because you rode casually, right? Like rode,
until I was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the change happened, because 13 you're entering high school, right? Well, I don't know what
We
you
enter
guys...
high school
Primary, yeah.
Primary, what is it called?
We enter high school at 14.
Yeah, right. So that's the transition
14, 15.
time.
Yeah.
So, was dirt bikes like... Yeah, it was a better decision, like friend group wise, hobby wise, whatever, but also like, is that where like the athleticism entered? Because you moved from soccer to like, is that kind of when dirt bikes became more serious, is what I'm asking?
Yeah, because my dad kind of introduced me to this trainer, let's say,
Okay.
that was living close to me, 20, 30 minutes from my home. And then it got more serious, let's say. But I was riding motocross since I was until I was 13, 14, and then this trainer made me switch to enduro racing when I was 15, 16.
Oh.
Yeah. So I started to train with him, motocross. But then when I got closer to him, he was a enduro racer, a rally pro racer, and where we live, enduro is so much a thing. Let's say you can get more sponsor. way easier to train. It's less expensive, and that was also a thing that my dad liked it, to be honest. And I was able to train a lot better because also the place where I live, where I currently live, I was able to train, to go out from my house and hop on a bike and train. So that's where I started to get more serious, let's say. And then I started racing with these little 50. I mean, they are big bikes, but they are 50 cc, because they allow you to race until you are 16 with these small bikes, and then you get on the 125. But I mean, to be honest, being soccer player until you were 13, 14, riding casually in the weekends, motocross, doing some local races, I quickly realized that the level was already high. But then I was taking, I mean, when I started racing, I took it really serious until I was, yeah, like 20. I mean, I thought I was a pro. I mean, I was training like I was a pro. I was going to school, and my parents always wanted me to focus on school, but I do my homework and go train. Go out of school and go train, always alone, always by myself, always alone, since I was like pretty young. I didn't have any friends that rode with me that they were living close to me, so I was forced to train by myself, and like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was a gym. I didn't know how to train for motocross, and I think that was a big part that introduced me to this world that I'm living right now, because I had to dig deep on finding ways to train, ways to approach this sport in the best way possible. And another big reason why I think I ended up here is because, as I said before, my dad was never a person that wanted me to win races, wanted me to train harder when we were training. He was just wanted me to have fun, and he kind of basically didn't care about the result, about anything. But at the same time, I was not thinking his way. I was thinking the opposite way, because I always look at the result. I always looked at the others, the results that I was not having, the results that other riders were having. I was never happy about my performance during training. I was always hard on myself, and my dad was the opposite. Okay, and he wasn't even able to explain me how to ride, because he was only focused on me having fun, me having a great experience. You know what I mean? And that's why I think since I was 16, even if I was training with this guy who was really good, but since I was young, I always blamed the lack of results on myself and what I was doing wrong on the bike. Because my dad wasn't even let's say, a good mechanic, and in this sport, you know better than me that, and we are trying to change this thing. Most of the people think about the bike, you know what I mean? About what wrong is going on apart from themselves. And I think taking the part where I said I was always feeling judged, that's I think I can get closer with it because I wanted to better myself, and I wanted to. I mean, I know it's not super positive, but I wanted to look good or look good from the outside. And that's why I was always searching how to be better on the bike, and started studying how the best riders, what they were doing, and always blaming on, oh, I should have been better on this thing, or fit on the pegs, or since I was young, when I was 16, 17, I started thinking about this stuff. And that played a big part, I'm pretty sure.
You've been to America before?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, I want to know a little bit about your career.
As I told you, I started to take it seriously when I was 14. And I started to do regional championships on 50 and 125s. So basically in Europe, almost everywhere in Europe, in Italy more specifically, it's way different. Racing, it's way more different than here. You have your regional championships, and you have your national championships. And if you win national championships, you go to European championships and then world championships. You cannot have A, B, C classes, but when you go to the national championship, you just go with everyone.
Oh, everybody's in
Yeah,
there. Wow.
you just have to qualify.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's called like a ranking, okay? It's like having a number that you can change it during the year.
Yep.
And yeah, so basically 14, 16, I was racing local racing in motocross, and I started racing regional championships in enduro. I got 2 second places in regional championships.
Enduro?
Yeah, enduro.
Dang.
Then I started to ride with 125s, national Italian championships and regional championships, and I never won anything. Always second. So from 16 to 19 with the 125, yes. I got 8 in 2018. No, 2019. I got 8th in the Italian championships, which is, pretty good. I was pretty stoked, and that allowed me to started racing these other championships called Assoluti. It's basically, national championship. It's like A class, okay,
Yep.
and these other championship called Assoluti d'Italia. It's like pro. Don't you guys have A class and pro?
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, national championship is like racing A class, okay, A and B combined, and this other championship, it's called like overalls. It's like pro racing, okay.
Yep.
And I raced these championships from when I was 19 until I was 20. So 19, yeah, 2 years, 2 full years pro when I was at school. In fact, I lost 1 year at school because I was not going to school. I kind of missed. I remember I missed like 60 days of school. I lost. You say you lost the year in school. You had to
Yeah,
repeat.
you got held back.
Yeah.
That's how you'd say
Yeah,
it in America.
I failed the year, and I'm saying it like laughing, but it was a pretty dark. I mean, not dark, but pretty tough year of my life, because my parents were tough on me with school. I mean, it was obviously the first thing.
But the other thing too, you leave your friends, right? Your friends get
Yeah.
bored and you get stuck. So you gotta
Yeah,
make a whole new friend.
exactly. The big thing was that as since a young age, I wanted to have all the best things for me. Okay, I wanted to be good at soccer first, and then motorbikes. I wanted to have a lot of friends, because then I got lost a bit, because I changed friendships and everything. So the thing I wanted to say is that when there was this time when I was racing almost professionally, let's say, even though I was at school like really serious, because of my parents, because of the type of school I chose, let's say, I was always feeling lost, because when I was riding, when I was racing, I was thinking, oh, I should focus on I should focus more on school. I should focus on more getting closer with my friends, finding a girlfriend. But when I was at school, I was always saying, oh, I should not be studying. I should train. I should race, because the other riders are training more than me. You know what I mean? I was always caught up with, maybe I was thinking I was caught up with too many things and at a time. So I was not focusing on anything at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And at that young age, it hits you pretty hard, because it's not finding yourself when you are 18 or 19. But I knew that I had this big passion where I was pretty good at it. It was racing dirt bikes. So I knew that I didn't want to lose it. But at the same time, I was putting so much stress on myself, and there was no reason to do that, because I was 18, 19. My parents, I mean, they were so good with me. They pretended good results at school, but they were chilling with me. They wanted me to have fun, go to school, got some good friends, but at the same time I was putting too much stress on myself, because it was almost like I had everything, because I was going to a good school. Even though I was struggling a bit, I was riding more. I was racing dirt bikes, which was a pretty cool thing to do. I was pretty good at it. I had cool friends that I still have right now. But at the same time, I thought something was missing, or I thought something was not right. Because I don't know, I always pretended too much on myself, and that's why I kind of was stressing myself too much. I wanted to say that because when I finished high school, okay, so after the second year I raced, let's say in the pro rankings, I was exhausted. I don't know why. I don't know why I was feeling that kind of pressure for no reason, as I already said. But I was exhausted, and I was really lucky that I took the decision to spend a year abroad. Yeah, here in the U.S. That makes sense now, maybe. I remember one day my parents was waiting for me on which university should I have gone. Okay, they wanted me to go to university right after high school, and I was almost I wasn't sure of this thing. And one day I said, okay, I wanna spend a year. I wanna go alone. I wanna go to California for 6-7 months, alone, making an experience. Go away from all this noise that I was making on myself, and try different things. Was always my dream. Watching Supercross, watching all the races in America. I don't know, the American dream, whatever you want to call it. And I was lucky enough, as my dad always worked here in the US, in the East Coast, for his business. So I was always close to this other culture, the American culture, and yeah, he was okay with it. He said that he was letting me do it, helping me with money and stuff. So on January 2022, I went to San Diego for 6 months, and I spent maybe the most 6 months full of experiences that I could have. I think I had so many things that went on me. Live talking, dirt bikes, because I went there. I met this guy that is from Italy. And I knew him from Italy. He's 2-time Enduro World Championship, and he now is currently racing in the US. And he kind of helped me to start racing on the West Coast. I was doing NGPC and works racings, but I was just racing in the weekends. And I was in this college, and I was helping him working on his team, so I can get some money to live. And yeah, and I experimented so much life in these 6 months, and I was feeling that I was learning so much about life, about everything. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to get back in my country. I was thinking that I was living the best life ever, let's say. Even though I got in so much stuff when I was here that I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it was a full experience that yeah.
San Diego is like one of my favorite places in the country.
Yeah, it's for sure it's changed me a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, all my friends, when I got back home, they said that they saw me different. They saw another person, like in a positive way, because it was like I had eyes opening. How do you say it?
You had your eyes open.
Yeah, I had my eyes open for a lot of things. At the point where I was feeling like invincible. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I was feeling like nothing could.
You got your confidence.
Yeah, I
You
got.
were what, like 20, 21?
Yeah, I was 21.
You were 21
I was
old?
21
Okay.
when I was in San Diego.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you like go to Supercross and stuff?
Yeah. I went to Supercross. I did everything. But at the same time, you have to understand that before I left my country, it was always school and dirt bikes. School, studying, and training.
So not only did you spend 6 months in a different country, but that was really your first time to have quote unquote free time. Right?
Yeah.
Be able to
Yeah.
freedom. You
For
actually
for
experienced freedom.
yeah, for no, but for no, you have to understand that was not for nobody forced me to race and train every day. I was doing because I wanted to do it alone. It's raining, but
Not last long.
at the same time, it's the first time I had some free time. Oh, that's not good.
It should be fine because, I mean, if you look at the sky, I'm just going to cover my...
Yeah.
If you look at the sky, like, I'm a little bit worried about my speaker, but it shouldn't last more than a minute. You're doing fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, I should. I wanted to. I mean, I wish I can say things better.
You're doing
Dude,
a
you're
fantastic
doing-
Yeah.
job. Don't beat yourself
You
up.
might be that guy who, like, has the subtitles at the bottom, but it's fine.
Well, he also just gives himself a hard time
Yeah.
with how he speaks.
You're doing brilliant. So, you obviously went home
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
And you're still there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so tell me how that happened over there.
I had this. Basically, it was pretty simple. I had this visa, this student visa that I had that lasted 1 year.
Yeah.
But my let's say the contract that I had with the school that I was in was for 6 months, and yeah, after 6 months I went back home, and but it kind of opened myself. Like, I mean, when I was there, I met a lot of good people, also bad people, unfortunately.
You're in California, it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't want to go into details, but okay. I kind of had my eyes open, as I already said, and before coming here, I didn't know what. As I said before, my parents wanted me to go to university, and that's what I had in mind also. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to choose, what to do. As every kid after high school is experiencing. That's why I think this experience that got me into a break, into a free time, allowed me to find more stuff about myself. And I don't really know why, to be honest. But when I got back home, after seeing all the moto community in California, after seeing everything that was growing on trainings and everything, I don't know why. I don't know exactly why. There was not something that made me say, okay, I want to do that. But one day I said, okay, I think I can bring something different to the table on this sport that I'm doing, because I know that it's pretty old school managed. I don't know how to say it. And I think I want to bring something new, or be a part of something big that can grow the sport that I love, that I truly loved. And I decided to begin sports science in Urbino, a small city in the center of Italy, University of Sports Science, and that was probably my best choice that I've ever done, apart from going to California for 6 months. And yeah, I started studying sports science, got into everything, but then there was another big thing that caught me, because I had to do these surgeries on my hips. That
He goes, yeah.
yeah, because there are so many things that I wanted to say, but I cannot feel it everything. Basically what started everything on training, or on, let's say, fitness, how do you want to call it, was because since I was 18, I started to have this big hip pain on my groins, and I didn't know why, and no doctors told me how or why I had this pain, and it was limiting me a lot riding, and I never got a good response for any doctor, and that's why I think it was almost like I wanted to find myself. It was almost like I wanted to find why I had this problem, because nobody was saying me how and why I had this pain, this big pain that was limiting me a lot when I was young. And these two things combined, let's say, is finding a true passion for the sport, a true passion for analyzing the sport, on trainings and whatever, and even understanding better like the human body, how we should move more correctly, do this thing that I had that I wasn't able to correct, to be better at, because I was suffering big pains every day. It kind of made me, how do you say it, when you react to something. I didn't, I mean,
Reactive.
yeah, no, not when you, I was in a bad situation, let's say, because I have this pain that nobody could help me, okay? And at the same time, I didn't know what to do on my life, let's say professionally.
Sure.
So I kind of react. I kind of.
Sorry, I'm trying to think.
I don't know how to say it.
What would the word be?
I mean, like taking on me, on my shoulders. Let's say, maybe.
Yeah. Basically, you bear the weight of it.
Yeah, I mean, I took responsibility maybe, and I find a way to. I found a way to not react, but I found a way to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you say it?
Found a solution.
Find a solution.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Sorry, that was
Find a
harder than I
solution.
needed it.
It's even soluzione. It's even same thing in Italian.
Close to the
Yeah.
word, yeah.
I had basically what came to my mind it was that I had to find a solution on my problem. I couldn't wait on someone that was going to me and say, oh, I have the solution for you.
Nobody's coming to say.
That's why I wanted to say all this stuff, because I think it really it was really this stuff that got where I got to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So where did you get to?
Basically, I started, as I said, I started this university, and I started to have a lot of passion on the human body, on all the human sciences, yep. Anatomy, physiology, chemistry, all this stuff, and biomechanics, but as same thing, I wanted to study all this stuff that were, I mean, all these sciences that are currently helping a lot of sports professionally. Like you think basketball, you guys have football, American football, in soccer, that they are sports that they are really developed.
Yeah.
And I was always thinking, motocross is not that way. I mean, motocross is really...
So he's like 10 years behind.
Yeah, exactly. I was always thinking that motocross was 10 years behind from all the other sports. Yeah. And I couldn't understand why. And that's what I was thinking. I mean, I was thinking I want to find something to do that can grow the sport and can grow the sport really, and be also compared to the other big sports that we have. And I think saying that, I think that was also the reason that, because as I said to you, when I was growing up, all my friends were playing soccer, okay? Yep. And they were always making fun of me riding motocross. Okay, so it was also like I knew that motocross was maybe one of the toughest sport around, because I was doing it. I was training a lot, and I was not having any result basically. So I was realizing that they were the guys that were wrong. Their sport was way easier, and I should have make fun of them. Okay, it was not the other way around.
Yeah.
And that's what, and it's almost like I said, okay, okay, you're making fun of me that I'm doing this stuff. Okay, it's like I said, okay, I'm gonna show you why it's not the way you think. I'm gonna show you why I'm right and you are wrong. You know what I mean? It's like a mental switch that I had, maybe to prove someone that they were wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not a big winning mentality, to do something because you want to prove something.
Maybe it wasn't to prove to them, but it was motivation for you to continue what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you saw the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it was almost that I was again starting to fall in this hole where people were right and I was wrong.
Yes.
And I wanted to prove myself that I was right. You know what I mean?
I do.
That I was doing a cool thing, that I was not doing some dumb stuff just because my dad could allow me to buy a motorcycle, because maybe he could afford it. No, because it was a cool thing to do, and that's why I started to prove myself that this thing was not some dumb stuff that I wanted to do, but was something that I loved, and was something that I loved that I wanted to grow. You know what I mean?
One, I want to hear about foundation training a little bit. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And two, you mentioned something maybe 20 minutes ago, talking about wanting to find something big that can help grow the sport.
Okay.
I want to hear about foundation training, and then obviously I want Cam to talk too, but I want to hear about what went into you going to that Dorno class in September of 2024, because I think the way that you got hired as a coach is quite interesting, as it is for everyone else, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything falls on this experience that I had when I was here, that I had the chance to meet a lot of people in the moto community, find a lot of things that I didn't know when I was back in my country. I remember that I with foundation training, the first time I heard about foundation training was I kind of spoke with a surfer in some beach in San Diego. I don't even remember where. Maybe in Encinitas, maybe. I remember. Yeah. And so yeah, it was in Encinitas. I mean, and he's talking to me about this foundation training that really helped him with his hips, with his back. And at the time, I already knew that I had to go through these surgeries with my hips, because I was having this kind of problem that nobody told me how and why I had this problem. And then I heard the Jeep's Tale podcast of Chase, of Sexton. And it was almost like something aligned, two things aligned, and it almost made a lot of sense. Everything made a lot of sense, and then I started to go deeper on this foundation training stuff, but I was not. The thing is that I was not limiting myself on doing the videos. I wanted to go deeper. I went to look who this Eric Goodman was, what was this thing that he created, and that helped me to decide what road to take on the university, obviously. And yeah, then I got home, and I started university. I got in the foundation training website. I started to text Eric. I saw that the Sexton co-trainer was from Austria. I got in touch with him. He was always training motocross in Italy. I got closer with him. I kind of made everything to, how do you say it? It's like I tried to find a way to bring foundation training and this world that was not near me, because was on the other side of the world, come closer to me. Find a way to get closer to what I heard and what I saw when I was here, you know? And that's, I don't know if I explain it well. I don't think so.
I get it. Like the stars align. Everything's
Yeah.
going to come together.
Yeah, because
I get it.
it was the thing that, talking about foundation training, was the thing that said to me, oh, you could be healthy one day. They can understand they can really understand your problem with your hips, and they can solve it. And then they are related with motocross. They are doing something that nobody's doing. So I said to myself, you have to get in touch with them and do something with them.
So do you know Eric?
Yeah, I know Eric because 2 years ago I went to Florida to do the certification, and it's something that I learned so much. I learned so many things that university couldn't teach me.
Wow.
And in fact, I was pretty, that was the time where I started, I met Eric, I met the foundation training community, and so imagine, no, because I really want to let you understand. Imagine being myself, okay? After coming back from America, you have to start university, okay? You have this thing in your mind where people say that you do this thing that just because your dad can allow you to do, okay? You ride motocross because it's something special that nobody wants to do, and I wanted to prove that it was not true, and I was losing again confidence on myself, and the thing that I found here, foundation training, and then when I heard about the Moto Academy, that was the thing that made me realize that there was a way to find a solution on what I wanted to do. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Because I found these things that I said, okay, I want to develop these things that I found, that I discovered, and align the stars as I told you before. I line the stars because between fitness, let's say, bringing something new to a sport, and the motocross. Okay, does it make sense?
Yes.
Maybe of
It all
course.
came together.
Yeah, it all came together to me, but on the outside there was nothing. And during these past years was what I did was kind of try to align the stars more. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Try to find the glue to bring something different to the table.
Right.
Okay, and apart from that, as I said, I met Eric. I went to Florida the 2 years ago, and at the same time I was doing a mentorship with the co-trainer of Chase Sexton in Austria. I did a couple of months mentorship with him, where I learned so much. I learned how they train, how Peter Park, Sexton trainer, trains all his riders.
Yeah, that's actually his name. Yeah. How the heck did you get that?
I don't know why. My girlfriend always say to him, I don't know how you did all this stuff. It's incredible. I mean,
I can tell you exactly why. You believe in yourself, and when you do that, opportunities come.
yeah. But at the same time, I mean, yes, it's really true, because I'm not feeling. I mean, I don't want to say I was believing in myself. I mean, I think deeply inside I was believing in myself, because I was really, I really believed on this thing that I had in mind. But at the same time, since I was a kid, as I told you before, I was so hard on myself. I was judging myself too much, and I wasn't believing in myself. But maybe, as you said, maybe deeply inside, I believe in myself.
Well, I think that's why people are hard on themselves, right? It's because they have an image for what they want to be, and they're willing to work hard to get to that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know for me, when I first picked up a camera and I got into it, I knew immediately this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? And you're your own worst critic. There's not one single video that I've ever put out and I've been 100% happy with, right?
Yeah.
It could be the same
thing.
For what you do, right?
Yeah.
I think it can get to a point where maybe being hard on yourself can be a little bit toxic, but
Yeah.
I think you need some of that element in your life to.
You have balance. You have to have balance.
Exactly.
It basically teaches you how to move your body.
Exactly.
Again, there's a cool. I mean, if you listen to the Eric podcast on YouTube, and if you go deeper into the foundation training stuff, he basically said that us as humans during these past few decades, it's like we lost, we forgot the way how to move. Okay, we forgot the way how to use our body because of the technology. Always became easier sitting into the chair, using their phone. And what basically foundation training does is reconnect yourself with your body and reteach yourself how to move. And that was another big thing that made sense, motocross talking, because I knew that there was a big opportunity to combine these two things. You know what I mean? Because with motocross, it's all about posture. I always knew that being a sport where you basically more you stay, I mean, with good posture, and less you move, faster you go. You know, it's pretty simple. So as
I've never heard it said like that, but you're.
Yeah, okay.
The less you do, the faster. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the less you move, the faster you go, more or less. If you think about it, because the better is the posture, and as the posture is important in daily life. I said, I mean, as the body is on the bike, the body has to. I always thought about it. The body has to work in a correct way for the body. And nobody's saying anything about it. Everybody's saying about line choices, throttle control, suspension, whatever. But I always had in mind, and I always had in mind that something was missing. and that's why another thing combined when I heard about the Moto Academy.
Yeah. So
How did it happen?
Tell me a little bit, 'cause it's actually really funny. My first week was the week of that class, and one of the first YouTube videos I ever put out was from Dorno, and I remember seeing you at the end of the video talking to AJ as he pulled off from doing his moto. So, what led into you deciding to go that day? What transpired that day, and then what followed from it?
And I don't know anything.
Honestly, it's pretty simple. I mean, I got into the Moto Academy app because I found this thing that I said, oh wow, that all makes sense. That's the thing I was always thinking, combining posture in motocross. Riding technique is how to put your body on the bike. It all makes sense, and that's where I said, okay, he's the guy. AJ is the guy to get in touch with, to do something cool, to develop this big project that I have in mind. Okay, I remember my dad saying, what are you doing? What is all this stuff that you are doing? I mean, you have to focus on. I remember that he was always saying to me, you have to focus on one thing only. You cannot put too much stuff on the table, because I was having tests at universities. I was doing this foundation training stuff. I was getting closer with the Moto Academy, and I mean, it was stressful, let's say, because I had a lot of things, okay, on the table, because I wanted to combine everything. I didn't know how exactly, but I knew that with everything that I was focusing on, I was thinking that there was a thing that made me say, okay, just keep going and keep trying to align things and put the glue on these different things.
So,
yeah, it's hard to explain it. I'm sorry.
Okay, but tell me about
showing up to that class.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the period that I wasn't able to ride, because I stopped for these hip surgeries that I had. I stopped riding basically since I got back in Italy to 2024, end of 2024, because when I was in Dorna, I was not riding. I wasn't able to ride still. But at the same time, I said I cannot lose the opportunity to not meet AJ and his team. And for one reason or another, I said, okay, I want to text AJ. I found emails. I searched everything, every way. I said, okay, I have to find a way to get in touch with him and show him and say to him that I basically want to do his job. I want to do something similar. And initially I was not I didn't want to my purpose was not to get into the Moto Academy. Was just finding ways to combine these things that I had in mind, and I wanted to learn from the best. Okay.
Tell me a little bit about
the Dorna class.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
What went into that? Because if I'm not mistaken, and you're gonna tell this.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big, like, I would say, kind of a risk, right? Like, it was not close to home. You went by yourself.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know what would transpire.
So, fun story. I mean, Dorno, it's like, I mean, it's not close to home, but I mean it's nothing. It's like almost 3 hours. But when there was Dorno, I was in Austria doing the mentorship with this Philip, the co-trainer of Chase, and it was all planned. And I remember when I got in touch with AJ, I think it was a couple of months, maybe even less, maybe a month before the class. I remember I got in the app to text AJ. I said, okay, I know that if you get in the app, you can get close to him and chat with him, and he kind of helps you with your dirt bikes and everything. And first, in fact, I posted some videos, and then I said, AJ, I kind of briefly said to him what I was trying to do. And I said, I'm studying sports science. I have this big passion for training, for coaching. I love what you're doing. I think it's something special that I kind of want to be a part of. Sorry. And I basically said, I really want to, being from Italy, I really want to come to Dorno. And kind of, I basically said to him, as I've been to America, I can speak almost fluent English, and most of the Italians people don't. Even though I knew that I was struggling also a bit, but I said, okay, I do whatever I can to have a yes as an answer. And I remember that he first said, if you want, yes, for sure, I would pretty stoked if you can help me with that. I didn't know that maybe could be an issue, the language. Yeah, but if you want to do the class for free, you can ride. And I said, I hope I was hoping to, but I'm not able to ride. But I can come just to train. I said, and he was not, but I think he kind of expect that I wanted to get paid. You know what I mean? And I said to him, AJ, I don't want anything. I don't want to get paid. It's just I want to have this experience, get to know you, get to know what you're doing, because I really want to do something too. So I think he really liked it. I think he really liked the fact that he find passion on what he was doing and what I was feeling on what he was doing. And I put myself in the best position possible to let him know that I was going to help him, and just to learn, and not to, how do you say it? I didn't want to use his experience or his knowledge. I just wanted to
Be in the environment.
With humbleness. How do you say it? Humility. Yeah. So I think he liked it, and when I met him, he was just pretty. He went pretty smooth, because I kind of explained that I wanted to do something similar here, and I remember he was saying that he was really interested. There was something that made me understand that he was listening to me. A good thing that I saw that he was listening on what I was saying, and it was just almost like that he also had in mind to do something in another country, in Europe. Okay, so yeah, but then it's after the class I had this great experience. I met AJ, I met the community, but then really was not, I mean, we didn't talk anymore, okay? We didn't have conversations because honestly I was saying, I mean, now, I mean, I'm not ready to get in touch with him again because my mind is not clear enough on what I want to do. But then I finished this mentorship in Austria. I started university again. I mean, at the beginning of the year, was like September, October. But then when I was in Dorno, that's a key point, because when I was in Dorno, I met these two guys who did the class, who really liked the way we taught. Even though I tried to do my best on helping AJ, but of course it was months that maybe a year that I was following the Moto Academy, that I got in touch with his knowledge, his technique. So when I came here, I knew his way to teach. I know how I kind of knew how the approach that he was having with riders. You know what I mean? So
I want to wrap it up very quickly. Just I think this will tie it all together.
yeah,
I want to hear about.
I'm talking too much.
No.
Okay.
No, I just don't want to be in his way.
I want to just hear about. Just like you could start off by saying, you know, fast forward to May of 2025. I got the opportunity to come to England for a week.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that week and what happened at the end of that week.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how did you?
How did I get in touch with him again?
Yeah.
I was saying that in Dorno, I met these two guys that liked the way we train and liked the way I train also, and they wanted to have someone who knew this new way of doing things, training them. Okay, so basically they said, do you mind if 1 or 2 times per week you start training us? And then I started training these two guys that I'm still training over in Italy. But I remember that one day I found out that they basically went to another trainer that I was not. I mean, that I don't respect the way he teach things, because I think the way we teach it's 1,000 times better. And that was another time. That was the thing that made me find a new solution. Okay, because I said, okay, the guys that I met in Dorno with the best trainer ever, AJ, that I trained for 1 year basically, 7-8 months, they are going to another trainer that I know that he's not teaching them anything. Why that's happening? If I'm offering them a good way to learn things, because I was just following the things that AJ was teaching. So one day when I was checking on my phone, I was checking his Instagram of this guy that I trained. I saw that he was training with another guy. I got mad at myself. I got mad in general, and I took my phone. I went into the Moto Academy app. I texted again AJ. I said, AJ, I feel ready. I train a couple of people for these past few months after we met. I want to do something with you because I think we can bring something different here in my country and in Europe, and it allows you to expand the Moto Academy overseas. and it basically, I basically found the solution texting him, and I said, I'm ready. And it was funny, his reaction, because he said, oh, Alessandro, I remember about you. I remember really, I mean, my thoughts on you were really positive. I remember that there was a lot of positivity in you when we met. And we are going to England in a few weeks, I think, because we went a month after I texted him, I think. You wanna come? Do you wanna have a test week with us and see how it goes? And I said, yeah. And we took the flight, we took the ticket, and he flew me out to Bristol, and we spent a week in England, where I met Ethan, where I met Al, and obviously AJ. And yeah, I did this test week. I remember that first day on track, AJ said, okay, you take 20 people, I take 20 people, and that's it. And good luck.
He was.
That sounds about right.
He was a nervous wreck, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I went with him for his first ever session, and he killed it. Like, actually.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I remember the first session where I was like every 30 seconds on Ethan. Am I good? Am I doing it right?
Really?
My English.
yeah, because I sorry. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, we spent the week in England. AJ liked the way I was, and yeah, he hired me.
Yeah. The rest
Basically, the rest is history. I mean, I think I still have a long road to take, but yeah,
So it's been.
almost a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we miss anything? I know where I want to end. Where I want to end is you saying to us, like, basically, if you want to train in Italy with me, or Europe.
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah, if you're a European rider who wants to train, train with me, or find a class with me at the Moto Academy, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what was missing. After that, I mean, AJ. No.
No.
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
we're doing something else.
No. That when I wanted to say that, AJ basically took me in this test week and hired me to be coach for Europe, because his plan was to expand in Europe, and I was saying, okay, I mean, that's the dream job, really. That's a train that I have to take. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it was tough. I think also, I mean, also for AJ it was tough. It was tough because first few months we tried to book classes. We started like full gas on booking classes in Europe, but I mean, things didn't work out as we thought, and we realized we had to take one thing at a time and take the thing slowly. He kind of understood that he had to build me the figure as a coach before hitting. That's why we are here. That's why we kind of decided to take a small break and reinvented the way we were doing the classes in Europe. We focused on two dates this past year, at the end of the year, and we had the chance to do two classes with two world champions. I mean, we did the class with Simon Langenfelder, who won the MX2 world title like 1 month before doing the class in a world championship track in Germany, his home country, and that was huge. I mean, for us, I mean, for all the people that follow the Moto Academy in Europe, that knows all the moto environment in Europe was huge. I mean, also media-wise, having a lot of people coming to me saying, how the heck was possible that you made a class with Simo Langenfelder and Kai de Wolf? How the heck was possible? And that was I think that is the approach we're gonna take for this year. And AJ told me that also when I was starting the Moto Academy and nobody knew who I was, I kind of had the same technique, bringing a lot of pro riders that I knew personally to the classes, and so people had the chance to learn about the Moto Academy and to know more about ourselves. You know what I mean? So for this year, 2026, we have in plan to do a handful of dates. So I hope they will be like 6 or 7 dates. And from now on, I will also be in charge of organizing the dates in Europe. So managing also all the trips, getting closer with the tracks, getting in touch with the tracks, with the pro riders, also with the help of Al. And I think AJ believed in me also doing this stuff because he saw that I could not bring something to the table, but how do you say, being more you say elastic, flexible, yeah, like mentally flexible to approach different culture, because Europe, it's not like America, where you have a big country where everybody speaks the same language, everybody has the same way of thinking, you know. You book a class in Spain, or you book a class in the Netherlands. It's totally different approach you have to the track owner, to the insurance guy, to the riders when you go out and do the class. It's totally different, and that's why I said to AJ, hey, I think I can try to help also on booking classes, on managing stuff apart from coaching, and take more responsibility on what was my role as just as a coach. Because coaching riders, it's what I love. But to get these classes done, I also want to make sure that everything falls in the right place, you know.
Give me the line.
Yes.
Give me the line. So if you're looking to train in Europe,
yes,
find a class at the Moto Academy.
Okay. Say it again.
So if you want to train with me in Europe, find a class at themotoacademy.com.
So if you want to train with me in Europe, just find a class at themotoacademy.com. Ciao.
I love it.